smooth as Tennessee whiskey. And that's how we're going to start off episode number 191 of the Promo Upfront podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. I don't know where he is, but I'm looking for the pawn of the Promotional Products Association of the Mid-South, Kirby Hassman. Kirby, are you here, Kirby?
Dude, I'm right here. I've been here all morning.
Oh, yeah. Kirby, I hear you. I hear you, but I don't see you. Kirby, where exactly are you?
I'm literally standing beside you.
Oh, there you are. You're standing right next to me.
Yeah.
Hi, Kirby.
Hey, buddy.
Well, great. Welcome to Tennessee. Welcome to Brand of Eight Global Dominating Headquarters. It's great to have you here.
It's been awesome to work here, man.
Awesome. So you're doing well. You're here to speak at the Mid-South Promo Show from PPAMS, Promotional Product Association of the Mid-South. You excited about that?
I am. We both love getting the opportunity to travel and speak and see people on the road. And I've been doing a lot more of that this year. And so obviously I like doing it, but then, the concierge treatment I got yesterday between you and Josh, it was unbelievable. We had a great time.
We do have a white glove service. We met in Nashville for lunch yesterday. Josh Robbins from Vault Promotions was nice enough to pick you up from the airport. Very early at the airport. We met at lunch, and then we had a little bit of a couple changes in plans and things like that. And you know what, Kirby, it kind of got me to thinking, we've seen so much change in the promotional products industry lately. It's from big distributor moves to supplier consolidation. It's really hard for me personally to keep up with it all.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's why I'd really like to start the podcast today talking about something we don't talk often enough about, and that is stability.
Okay.
And I love that. With all those changes that are happening on a regular basis, it's just as important to talk about companies that are stable, they're established, and they're strong. And nothing comes to mind more than our good friends over at Shepenco. For 90 years, over 90 years, not 90, over 90 years. That means 91 or more. You can do the math, people. I'm not going to do it for you. For over 90 years and 4 generations of family ownership, Shepenco has genuinely cared about the success of their clients. And by the way, the client, that's you, Mr. and Mrs. Distributor. And that is absolutely the definition of stability, isn't it, Kirby?
It really is. And I think that any of us who have started a company or whatever, like A, starting it's hard.
Yeah.
B, getting it going is hard. And then the transition of generations is so unique. And so the idea that you can do it for that amount of time is, as you said, stability.
Kirby, as usual, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't have said it better myself. Another point there, they only sell through promotional products distributors. Shepenco is dedicated to doing more than just delivering quality merchandise at a fair price. They go the extra mile, which I always love, to ensure every distributor project is a resounding success. It's the right way to do business, and that is how you continue to be stable and strong heading into the next 90 or more years. Now, the bottom line, Shepenco stood the test of time. The experience, the products, and the people are absolutely the best. Head over to the newly redesigned shepenco.com. You're not going to be sorry you did. So, Kirby, you're here in Franklin, Tennessee. You're here at the Back 40. You're here in my small, humble office. Glad to have you here. I have the upfront part of the podcast today, and I think we have a couple topics we want to get to. I want to talk about the latest merchandise drop from the 47th president of the United Snakes in one Donald J. Trump.
Okay.
Now, I think you probably saw, a lot of people did, the pre-sales for the golden high-top sneakers featuring a flag motif. They're very gold and very
absurd. Yeah.
They're not they're not subtle. They're not subtle. Along with that, so they're $3.99 a pair.
Sure.
Sold out within hours. And again, they're pre-sales, they're pre-orders. So I'm going to use obviously that money to probably bankroll actually producing these sneakers. And there's also a red pair and a white pair for $199. Super awesome. Now, they also released Victory 47 cologne and perfume priced at $99 each. Now, the perfume has a hourglass type silhouette with a gold T on top. That stands for Trump. And then got a big giant mug of water here, almost knocked over.
Yeah.
But the cologne, though, has a gold bust of Trump's head on it.
Okay.
So surprisingly, and this actually is surprising, neither of these products are associated with Trump's presidential campaign. These are branded and sold by CIC Ventures, but that company does have a close tie with Trump, but it has nothing to do with his presidential campaign in
Okay.
terms of raising money, which I thought they did.
Okay. Yeah. I
So,
guess I kind of assumed that too.
so
Yeah.
the question I have for you, Herbie, the merchandise is gaudy. Let's just be honest.
Of
It's
course.
you know, as with a lot of things, whether you like his politics or don't, a lot of the things Trump, his aesthetic is gold and ostentatious.
Yeah.
Not something I personally love, regardless of who's behind it.
Mhm.
Does this type of gaudy merchandise, though, help or hinder the Trump brand?
Mm.
Not this has nothing to do with politics. I'm talking about the Trump brand here.
Yeah, that's a good question.
You're darn right it's a good question. That's why I asked it.
Yeah. So I didn't know about the perfume and the cologne. I actually think that from my, again, this is just my initial take on this. I'm like, okay, that feels right to me. It feels on brand
Okay.
to me. An ostentatious cologne or whatever with all that, that feels right. When I saw the sneakers, I was like, I thought that those were quite frankly stupid. Like I didn't, they don't make any sense because they don't feel on brand.
Right.
Yes, they're gold, but with all due respect, neither of our presidential candidates do I think are going to be hooping it up. Like the idea
don't
of,
believe so.
basketball sneakers on either of them, it just doesn't seem on brand to me. So that was the part that I thought was weird.
You mean you don't see either 80-year-old man or close to 81, a little over 80, dunking on LeBron
I do
at
not.
the next All-Star game?
Yeah, and so that's the reason that athletic sneakers. If they were other kind of footwear,
Yeah.
then maybe, right?
Okay.
But that it seemed like a complete departure for me, and so I did a big eye roll when that came out. The cologne and the perfume, okay. Like again, he's as you said, gold ostentatious, but also luxury is something that I would say that he stands for, and so that fit a little bit more to me, not as much on the sneakers for
Okay.
me.
Yeah, I think it actually helps the brand because it's so on brand for him.
Okay.
You know, I've never stayed in a Trump property, but all of them that I've seen from the outside
Right.
have gold fixtures. They have gold lettering. So to me, it's very on brand for
Okay.
him. Whether I like it or not, I think it's a consistent Trump brand thing. So I think as ludicrous as those sneakers look,
Yeah.
and I think I might use it as the cover this week because they're so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I do think it's very on brand for him. Now, the last question I have for you on this, Kirby, what do you think that cologne smells like?
It smells like victory.
What's the name of it?
Yeah, I have no clue. I again, these are.
That's a bear trap question, by the way.
I am not the target demo for him.
No.
And so regardless, like I would never buy those sneakers.
Right.
I am a frugal guy. So
you are thrifty.
Yeah, right. So I'm probably not, I don't know what it would smell like, but then to be totally candid, I don't know what good cologne smells like at all. So I'm probably not the right audience.
So in a more serious question, you wouldn't, if you had an opportunity to buy those shoes for $399.
Yeah.
And then hold on to them for a period of time and resell them, let's say, for double that, triple that, maybe quadruple that. Would you do that? Would you consider them as, because they're limited edition, of course, so there's going to be scarcity, it's going to drive the prices up. Would you look at it as a very small investment opportunity among the entire portfolio of Hassman properties?
I think that if you can buy things at $399 and sell them for $1,000, that's pretty much always a good strategy. But again, so I actually know several people who do that.
Yeah.
And so would I recommend it to them? Yes. It's not my business. So I couldn't tell you like if those shoes are going to go up or not. Well, I don't have any. So I'd be going way outside of my lane.
Yeah. It's gambling. I mean, you really truly don't know because there might be, they haven't manufactured yet. So I don't know if they're going to be good quality, bad quality.
100%. Well, okay. So really quickly, Gary Vaynerchuk partnered with K-Swiss and did shoes.
Right. I remember that. You desperately wanted it.
Yeah.
You got a pair. I did.
Okay. I did. I didn't get the first pair. I got the second pair. I actually like the design of those better because it was on my brand. He wasn't doing basketball sneakers. They were like more sneakers that you'd wear in the office. I still have them in my closet. I like them. They fit with, but those were sold on the secondary market. I did not do that though.
Yeah,
Again, it's just not.
It's not what you do.
Yeah.
All right, Kirby, as this podcast drops, it's March, which means the Masters is right around the corner.
Yep.
But you know what? There's another tradition unlike any other I'd like to share right now. It's
Okay.
the annual Augusta Golf Towel Special from our good pals
Mm.
over at Canada. That's right, Canada has championship savings. See what we did there? Championship savings on 5 of their most popular golf towels now through April 15th, 2024. So right now is the time to get those orders in, get a jump on the competition, and get those orders in for your clients now and avoid the rush by visiting thecanadagroup.com. Now, Kirby, I want to thank you for having the courage to bring your phone
Yeah.
and have topics for us. So
Yeah.
what is your topic, sir?
Okay, so I have one that I read about this morning in my morning brew.
Yep.
So surge pricing is coming to Wendy's. Okay, cool. So
I have this.
Yeah,
No, seriously, yeah, I have it on my list. So
that's
yeah.
funny. So essentially, Wendy's, for those who don't know, essentially during busy times,
Mhm.
they're going to charge more,
Yep.
right? So if it's a busy lunchtime, they're going to up their prices.
Yep.
Obviously, there's going to be some controversy around this because when you're busy, charging more, people will say, "Well, now you're price gouging."
Yeah.
I'm curious to know because we were actually having a conversation yesterday as you were being so gracious with me about the motel that we have,
Mhm.
which is similar concept about
Yep.
surge pricing. So what is your take on this concept with Wendy's instituting surge pricing or dynamic pricing?
Yeah, so they're going to start in 2025. And the thing I found interesting about what Wendy's is going to do with their surge pricing, I think they're calling it dynamic
Yeah,
pricing,
which
but
sounds
it's
better.
surge pricing.
Yeah.
It sounds better. It's marketing. Is that they're going to be using AI so that the prices fluctuate throughout the day. They're going to analyze trends in real time to predict what patrons want and how much to charge. And they're going to use that information to extract maximum value.
Okay.
So the answer to your question is, what was your question again?
What do you think of it? Like,
I don't know what I think of it because there are some things where we accept surge pricing when
do.
it comes to Ubers, for example.
I was just going to say,
We accept that blindly,
Yep.
but yet I know, I have kids in college. I have students in college, and they have what they would call surge pricing during football weekends. I feel it's gouging.
Yeah.
I don't know, and that is actually what I want to talk about. When is it gouging and
Right.
when is it surge pricing? Just real,
Dynamic.
let's call it real time supply and demand, because there's always been, we're going to maximize the value here based on demand,
Right.
supply and demand. So we now have the technology apparently to have real time supply and demand. I don't love it because it's an incredibly difficult way to budget.
Yeah.
It's incredibly
Right.
difficult to say, okay, I only have $10, so I'm going to go to Wendy's and get a Baconator,
Right.
for example. But maybe that day, and maybe that's normally $7. I have no idea. I don't
Yeah.
eat a Baconator. But let's say because Baconator's so damn popular at that time of day at that particular store, well, right now Baconator's $13.
Right.
I think that would really cause an immense amount of friction.
Yeah.
I think because it's food, I think the pushback is going to be enormous.
Yeah.
I do not see this being received well by the consumers. Now, will it cause Wendy's to stop doing it? I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because Wendy's is already probably perceived as one of the more expensive fast food places.
Okay.
Yeah. And I actually like Wendy's burgers or whatever. So, as a consumer, I don't love it.
Yeah.
As a entrepreneur, I understand, right? Like, so we were just in transparency. We were talking about our motel and how during busy weekends, maybe I should charge more for those weekends.
And I was 1000% in favor of it.
Yeah, and I was pushing back a little bit, going, well, I don't want to gouge people. But I do think there's a way to do it so that it's a uptick without it being
correct,
doubling or tripling, which is what you see.
Correct. I mean, I'll give a perfect example. There's a time where Sandy and I went to go visit our son Drew at Mississippi State. It's a small college town. It's a big college. It's a growing college. So they have the problem of there's not a lot of hotel rooms. And we were there on a spring weekend, not even a football weekend. It was a baseball weekend.
Okay.
And the only hotel we could get within a 30-mile radius was a Super 8. And I'm here to tell you, it was not super. And not only was it not super, I mean, we did not feel safe there. We planned to stay the entire weekend, and they were charging 3 times their normal prices, which was $120.
Yeah.
So now I'm paying $460 to stay in a room that didn't have a working smoke detector. I know why, because it had been removed. So clearly it wasn't going to work. And we didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. So if you're going to do some sort of surge pricing, I think it's fine, but you better make sure that your offering is commensurate with what the cost is going to be.
Yeah.
I understand, like if you know, at the Roscoe, which is Kirby's hotel,
Mhm.
if you're going to double prices on a game weekend or on a weekend, a graduation weekend, because there's a college you said 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
If you're going to double prices on a in-demand weekend, I don't have a problem with that. Because I know you, I know as a proprietor of that
Right.
establishment, it's going to be clean, it's going to be safe, it's going to be nice.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm paying a little extra, it's a premium weekend. If it's not, if you don't reinvest the money you're making
Right.
back into the property, or in Wendy's case, back into the food to make sure it's healthy, or not healthy, that's
Yeah.
not, but make sure it's not tastes good, it's not, you know,
Yeah.
what all the things that you expect from Wendy's. If they're not going to do that, then I have a problem with it.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting.
All right.
Just because we see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned Uber, like
Yeah.
we're in Vegas. It's like getting a,
Oh, yeah.
At one point it was at the end of the SKUCon event
Yeah.
2 years ago. I was looking for Ubers before the event
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, but they were like $15.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that ended,
Mhm.
they were 40.
Yeah.
It was, and it was so amazing how quickly it happened.
Well, and I think, you know, I don't think we realize that Uber's surge pricing, and I really do prefer the term dynamic
Yeah, I
pricing. I
agree,
think that that's a better term for it. It's more accurate.
Yeah.
That I think this is going to bleed over in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
it's
you're going to see
interesting.
it. All right. So Walmart, you're familiar with Walmart, Kirby?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
I don't know if you realize this. You're familiar with the TV maker Vizio, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Walmart has bought the TV maker Vizio. I believe it's probably on Kirby's list. So
It
we are
is.
sharing a brain
Yeah.
this week. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a $2.3 billion deal, Kirby. Now, Vizio has more than 500 direct advertiser partnerships through its Vizio Platform Plus business. Now, the company says it now accounts for the majority of the company's gross profit at Vizio.
Okay.
And they're
The
smart
partnerships too.
yes, they're partnerships. And the smart TV operating system, it's called SmartCast through Vizio,
Okay.
is used by over 18 million active accounts, and they're looking to compete with Roku and Amazon.
Okay.
Now, the press release said the acquisition of Vizio and its SmartCast operating system will enable Walmart to connect with and serve its customers in new ways,
Yeah.
including innovative television, in-home entertainment, and media experiences. It also would also create new opportunities to help advertisers connect with consumers, empowering brands with differentiated and compelling opportunities to engage at scale. Oh gosh, what a word salad! To realize greater impact from their advertising spend with Walmart.
Mhm.
Kirby, all I read is this: it is a sign that the real product now, the main product in our society, is personal data.
Yep.
It's you, it's me, it's our habits, it's, you know, we joke about our phones listening and they tell us they're not, but I guarantee you they are.
Sure.
Or they're certainly looking at, you know, you search one thing that you've never searched before, all of a sudden it pops up everywhere. I guess are we at the point now? The question I have is is data as a product more lucrative and valuable than the product itself?
So I think we're getting there. I thought when I saw this, I thought it was brilliant by Walmart.
I did.
Yeah,
I did too.
yeah. So it's funny because it's one of the things that I've been sort of preaching here in the last 6 months to a year about the idea of building your list,
Right.
about that personal data, about being able to communicate when you want to
Owned media versus rented media, if
Yeah.
I may be so bold
Yeah.
as to quote you.
Yeah, and so it's going like you'll hear about it again today.
Oh, thank you.
So, but it is a thing that I think. So, in answer to your question, for
Yeah.
those organizations that are smart and growing and dynamic, yes,
Mhm.
I think that is the way it's moving. I don't think
Yeah.
many businesses get that yet.
Yeah.
They, many people. This is why this is a headline, and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this doesn't make any sense. Walmart buying Vizio. I was like, I think it makes a
Yeah.
ton of sense.
Yeah.
And it's the thing, ironically, that I think Super Bowl ads have historically not done as
Yeah.
well at is they're leveraging celebrities and
Yep.
trying to make everybody laugh. But I was watching an interview with Gary Vee
Mhm.
this week, and he mentioned the idea. Somebody asked him, "What's the best Super Bowl ad in the last 5 years?"
Yeah.
And he said the Coinbase ad
Mhm. Yep.
because it grabbed data. It,
Right.
it had people download the app. It had. He said most ads aren't doing that on Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and they're missing the opportunity. And I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. So
Uh,
I think this is really
100% agree. I agree. You know, I think you're going to start seeing companies use low cost or cost effective electronics
Mhm.
as a loss leader to get the real product, which is you.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at, you know, inflation and all that, TVs are historically lower than they've ever been.
Oh.
And you know, this was announced last week. Sandy and I went to Sam's Club, owned by Walmart, on Saturday to
Yep.
pick up something. And all the TVs are now on the front are all Vizio. They're ridiculously low prices. It's a quality product.
Yeah.
Is it the
Vizio's a
best?
great.
Is
Yeah.
it the best? I don't know, but it's good.
Yeah.
I would have
We
a
have Vizio TVs. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a fascinating thing. All right, do we have one more time for one more? Do you want to talk about the one topic or no?
So let me look.
That could be a tease. I might be teasing. We might talk about it. We might not.
Yeah.
Or do you want to wait till next week?
Let's wait till next week. But
Okay.
I have something that we can do truly quickly.
Okay.
So truly quickly,
Sure.
not drawing you off sides.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So have you heard of the Florida games? The Florida Man games. Sorry.
I would assume it's a bunch of wheels off games that involve the authorities at some point.
100%. You're exactly right.
Excellent.
So essentially, it's promoted as the most insane athletic showdown on earth. It pokes fun at some of the other things, and they have bizarre stories that have brawling and
Mhm.
you know all that stuff. But it is essentially this out of bounds, crazy athletic competition in Florida,
Mhm.
right? I think it's totally on brand. We talked about
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
And so I think that's fun. But I was looking at this and going, how is there a way that we could do this for Expo? The
Okay.
PPAI games.
Yeah.
And who would participate?
Boy, that almost seems like something we need to really think about.
Give some more thought to it.
Really,
But I
really
was
think
like,
about.
I'm like calling Josh Ellis and Dale Denham. How
Yeah.
do we incorporate
I
the
like
Florida
it.
Man games into the PPAI games? There would be self-defense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There'd
Well,
be-
Meg Erber would
right.
destroy everybody.
Right. But
yeah.
we could have pickleball,
Yeah.
of course.
That would be Nadav.
Right.
Would be.
But then there's
would be-
others, you know, then there's
Yeah.
I'm sure the shotgunning a beer competition. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
it could be fun.
Best eye roll. Most athletic way to avoid going into eye candy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of possibilities here.
Ghosting.
So I'm going to do something I didn't plan on doing. A very quick rapid fire, Kirby.
Oh, okay.
Very quick rapid fire. And this is about Kirby being in Tennessee and in my house.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I just think about this right now. Biggest surprise of the back 40.
How big Shelby is.
Okay. Shelby, big dog.
Big dog, delightful. Dog.
Okay.
We had an instant connection.
You did.
Yeah.
You
So she's sizable.
Okay. What's the first thing you noticed when you came into my office here?
I think I told you yesterday, I love your decorations.
Oh, thank
Like you do so much better at this than I do on mine. I just throw shit wherever. And you got there's of course you see this, but there's
Right.
also there's posters over here, there's hanging guitars. It's just really well thought
Oh,
out.
thank you.
Yeah.
If I was gonna walk out of here right now
Mhm.
and you could steal one decoration from the wall, what would you take?
Oh, that's easy. It would be your Van Halen guitar.
Okay.
That's the easy one.
All right. And what I have one other question, and I don't remember what it is. So
Okay.
you know what? Doesn't matter.
It
I told you very quick, unplanned
Yeah,
rapid fire. And
that's
see, this
fine.
is what happens when I don't plan the shit out. But I'll tell you who does plan things. They plan things for over 91 years. That's more than 90, kids, if you're doing your math at home. That's our good pals over at Shepenco. That's called stability. 91 years and counting, 4 generations, and they only sell through promotional products distributors just like you. So you want to work with a company that has your back, that is 100% dedicated to your success? Fake laugh. Don't look any further than our good pals over at Shepenco. Visit them at their newly redesigned shepenco.com. You're not going to be sorry you did. Kirby, I'm very eager and very excited to go see you speak here in about an hour. But first, I've got a smoked rump roast that I'm going to get the meat slicer out, and we're going to have ourselves a little lunch.
I'm hungry. So
All
that'll be
right.
fun.
Bye, everybody.
That's right.